number one baseball movie of all time, and it begins with my end. And it begins my number one. It starred Kevin Costner, and yes, the late James Earl Jones. If they build it, they will come.
Oh, you got
You cheated!
Yeah.
You cheated!
You know what I'm talking about? Number one is Field of Dreams. It is. In fact, they even made that stadium out in Iowa. One, of course, I remember last summer that
The White Sox and Yankees. That was great television.
Yeah.
Yes, it was.
And then we'll be back there this coming August.
Yeah,
so.
is it the Cubs and Reds?
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I thought. That's gonna be a lot of fun again. Hopefully the Guardians get to play in 1 year. I'd like to get tickets to that. That would be just amazing.
Yeah, the only problem is I was a lot of leeway from Whitetown, so.
Yeah, it is.
So number one is Field of Dreams, and Uriah and Kristin, you guys have on numero uno.
Alright, my number one, everybody's talked about it, A League of Their Own. Oh no!
Scotty and Radar and Uriah both cheated. Because now you already know what mine are. Field of Dreams and of course A League of Their Own.
There's no crying in baseball.
There's no crying in baseball, Scott. Make sure you have a number one.
No crying in baseball. I do have a number one. It is not A League of Their Own, but it is, again, man, I think we're all just thinking alike here. Great minds think alike. I had to put Field of Dreams number one. If you build it, he will come. Ray Kinsella. He's inspired by a voice he can't ignore to pursue a dream he can hardly believe. And he's supported by his wife. And of course, they live in Iowa, and he hears the voice and ends up building a baseball field. You've talked about James Earl Jones and Kevin Costner. I really like Ray Liotta in the movie as well. And then the scene at the end with his dad, and he's like, "Hey, Dad, would you like to have a catch, or how about a catch?" That gets me every time. Every time I watch that, I tear up, man. So Field of Dreams takes the cake for me.
I actually forgot one on my list. Nobody mentioned it. It was John Goodman and The Babe.
No, that was on mine.
It was on my honorable mention.
Oh!
I think that was my number 5 or 4.
Alrighty, Andy Conrad, you have a number one of your own.
I do, and it's not a movie about Major League Baseball, but it is about baseball. It is The Sandlot. I watch it every July. There's something about that movie I love. It kind of reminds me of the movie Stand By Me, but nicer and about baseball instead.
Yep,
Sandlot, number 1 for me.
And we wrap up the number ones with Mr. Michael Kowicki.
When Jackie Robinson wearing number 42.
42 is an excellent film.
It is.
yep.
And we, in fact, I was about ready to say briefly on 42, if I remember correctly, was starred by the guy who was the late Chadwick Boseman, who died sadly last year, as you well know. Oh, and then I mentioned a little bit earlier on Harrison Ford, where he played Branch Rickey in the film. And a fellow who played Leo DeRocher in that film. He was on The Wire and was Stabler, if I remember, from Law & Order SVU, and now is Stabler on another Law & Order series. He's that launched last year. Chris Maloney.
Yep. Yeah. And I figured that's where you were going there, Raider.
Mm-hmm. That's where we're about to wrap up the Ultimate Everything Top 10 Countdown. Next week's Top 10 Baseball Movies. Next week, we will focus on the top 10 and Easter candies of
Favorite
all time.
Easter candy.
I
There you
just
go.
said it.
I'll be out of town.
Oh,
You
yes.
can still do it, and somebody can read it for you.
Alrighty, and I was just about ready to say, really, and yes, that does include even some Easter candies from Gorin Candies and Daffin Candies. I
Yeah.
am told
Yep.
venture as we speak.
That's right.
Any chocolate, man,
Oh, yeah.
or any sort of candy, I'm all about. So can't wait to hear everyone's list.
It is time for lunch bowls.
Which also means that's our top 10 list. What's yours? Whether you agree with us or not, hit us up at goldenstringradio.org or on the Facebook page. And we wrap it up with a little bit of Wild Thing. This one from, many of you are familiar with, the 1989 film
Major League.
Major League. Here it is.